Shalom Habarim. Hello, friends. Welcome, guests, visitors, and all nations and all peoples. Come and give ear to what I have to tell you because it is very, very good for you to know. So, I'm actually going to talk about the reality of where, wealth and even things like money actually really come from. Now, of course, what is written in the Holy Law is true. And generally, the basic idea that is correct is that wealth, it comes from God and it's a blessing that has to be utilized responsibly and in accordance with His will to basically serve God and also our fellow, human beings, and even do what is known as tikkun olam, or like fixing the world. So basically, generally speaking, money is a blessing, right? Wealth is a blessing from the Creator, and you're supposed to use it to serve Him in accordance with His will, to accomplish His ultimate will, basically speaking, in accordance with whatever is written in the Holy Law, right? But see, there's more details about this and where wealth actually comes from. So, okay. Basically, what is going on is that the Creator, blessed be His name, is like constantly providing creation with divine providence. And this divine providence is channeled through a cyclical system known as the cycles of life. Basically speaking, what's going on is that everything in the universe is being provided for by the Creator through a systematic, cyclical way where there are literally, quite simply, 7 different 3-hour and 25-minute long daily periods of the cycles of life every day. And that goes on 7 days strong. Okay. Now that's just looking at one of the cycles of life that every human being is actually subject to. There are 9 that are relevant to all humans. Okay, I have enough videos about that in the channel, so look at the other videos on the cycles of life and self-mastery. But for now, okay, keeping it simple though, basically what's going on is that the Creator is providing, in providence is providing systematically through the certain cycles of life that are the daily periods of the cycles of life. See, providence is providing through the different daily periods of the cycles of life, the qualities of those different periods. They have a certain quality that has like a certain effect on what goes on in earth, human, and life activity. So including what human beings do. And this is why at a certain time, somebody is literally actually sitting somewhere in a government office at a printing press, literally, legitimately, and, beautifully printing actual money. Or at another time, there's an artist painting a picture, and this person is painting this picture, and it's just beautiful. And then he puts it on sale for a couple hundred, a couple thousand, or whatever, and it sells for that amount. Huh? How did that happen? Or somebody has a house and they decided to sell the thing, and so all of a sudden they put it on the market and somebody buys this house and it's sold and they get this chunk of money. Well, we got to look at the details and actually understand what's going on. What is going on is, like, most simply expressed, is this. So the creator, right, is constantly providing creation with providence, and this is constantly going on through a system that is cyclical. So at different times, divine providence is providing different things. In terms of that, there are cycles of life, namely the daily periods of the cycles of life, for example, of 3 hours and 25 minutes in length, whereof there are 7 a day, etc., that have different effects on earth, human, and life activity, what people do or don't do. And this is how things are produced in life by humans, by the life cycles that the humans are in at the time. So, like, because listen. Okay, let's say you've got a giant pile of money on the table, like $1,000, whatever it is, like, $10,000 in bills here on the table, okay? And you're looking at this, and that's $10,000 right there. It's like a stack of notes or whatever. Like, I don't know how. So $10,000 bills, right? So it's like this thick. Okay. Or you've got gold bricks sitting on the table, right? So you're looking at something that is a physical object that has a certain value at this time, at least. Whereas wisdom is much more valuable and eternally valuable, okay? So, like, these things that are considered as wealth or that have a certain value, right? If we were to trace where they came from, right? Like, what is the source of all wealth? Well, yes, it's God and his providence and his blessings, and wealth is a blessing from the Creator, right? To be utilized responsibly and righteously to serve him, right? Okay. But what we're actually, like, really getting at here is that, see, that what we know is as wealth. And I mean, this could be anything from literally to money, notes, like paper, like bills, to gold bricks, to whatever it is, it's worth anything, right? Well, what goes on is that the source of all of that, including whatever is wealth and even anything, right? The clothes that I'm wearing, the money in my pocket, this, that, any object that has any value, so to say. See, the thing is that what happened is that the universe, or, like, let's say God, is always providing. And when these things were created, they were created by human beings because of the time that it was and the cycles of life that it was, and the effect that this cycle and the divine providence that is given within that cycle had on the earth, human, and life activity. So a person created a certain thing at that time that then was, like, let's say, like a manifestation of, or a partial manifestation of, universal providence in that format, in that time, in that place, according to that cycle of life that was in. Okay? The prime example to understand this is, you have an artist, and there's particular times when artists are particularly inspired, right? It's something that everybody knows about. Well, what happens is, there's a time when this artist is so inspired and he just starts painting, and it just turns into this beautiful painting. And then this thing is worth, he says, I need $10,000. Okay, I'm going to sell this thing for $12,000. Somebody's going to buy this. I'm sure. It's beautiful. So he sells the thing for $12,000, and it sells. Where did that come from? Well, divine providence was pouring out creative, like, vibes and like qualities at that time through that life cycle at that time, that daily period even, or a number of them, that caused this person to be active in a certain way and create a thing in a certain way. And that was then like infused with a certain, like, sort of like a value in terms of the creative energy that went into it, because that was what creation was creating at that time through that person. Okay, so this is sort of how this works, because yes, it is correct that money comes from God and God is the source of all wealth and all that. That's absolutely right, but there's details to how this works. That is true, but there's actual mechanisms involved. So like, all right, how else can I put this into clearly comprehensible terms? Hmm. So generally, right, if you work somewhere, right, you go to work, you get paid, and you get money, right? Whether it's digital or physical. Okay. Well, but see, for that to happen, there has to be a legitimate working relationship established in the first place. Okay. Well, so like wealth is not only physically created at certain times, but it's a result of what things are possible in life in certain times because of the different life cycles that exist that have an effect on what humans do. So, for example, there's a time when you'll meet a person, and the cooperation and the friendship or the working relationship with them or whatever it is that's legit, it will lead to like a massive amount of what could be classified as wealth being exchanged between you, like a mutually beneficent thing. But the reason is because of the time when you met the person and what creation was giving at that time and what things it was a time for that worked, that were automatically supported and expedited by creation at that time. So, like, for example, if you think that, okay, in order to have financial wealth, you have to work somewhere and make, good money. Well, in order to work somewhere, you have to meet somebody that you're going to be able to work with in a good way. And there's a time when that's possible, because there's a time for that, when there's a quality in the universe and in like the cosmos and stuff where those types of things automatically happen because that's the time for that. Whereas at another time, it's not the time. And that's what basically causes all the variables in life, negative and positive, plus, minus, yes, no, good, vice versa. It's all because there's a time and a place for everything on earth and under heaven. And the cycles of life are the way that eternal divine providence actually gives systematically from an eternal resource certain things at certain times so that we can have all the best things, let's say in good order and moderation forever. That's actually how this works. Okay, one more example to um, show this point a tiny bit further is that okay. Picture it like this. There's a time when rain falls out of the sky, and that's what there is at that time. You're able to just hold out your cup, and it's just filled with rainwater, and that's it. It's because that's what is being given at that time, and that's what there is, and you've taken a hold of that. So that's how this works, okay? Because, see, it's interesting. Some will say that, particular and certain different, like groups of peoples, are wealthier than others and all this, but nothing is left to chance or to any type of mystery or coincidence. What's going on is that you literally have the fact that divine providence is constantly giving, and it's giving different things at different times that include the things that lead to the creation of, also via human beings, things, relationships, interactions, everything in life, and then life can produce, it can lead to wealth and so on. So knowing these times is key. All right. And that's legit true wisdom. Okay. So, so think of it like this. So for you to be wealthy financially, right, it helps to have other legit humans who you interact and cooperate with, right? Well, see, you have to understand that there's a time when you can meet those types of people where then you work with them and you're good to go and you're rich. But see, where did that come from? It came from the fact that there was a time and a place for that, and you acted at that time, and you harnessed the available divine providence to establish this thing in your life that then led to wealth being generated and increased and so on. That's actually how this works. So you're looking at a cosmic or a universal, like a divine source that is constantly providing, and is also more specifically providing um, almost like different vibrations or something in life at different times lead to the creation of different things, and that facilitate certain things happening within earth, human, and life activity that also result in life situations or interactions between human beings that lead to what we know as wealth, or becoming wealthier, and so on and so forth, or meeting someone, having a good interview, working with them, and it being good, right? And you being wealthy. So this is all based on divine providence and how divine providence systematically provides certain things through the cycles of life. That's where wealth actually comes from.